You're about to get me going. When like atheists are like, you want to serve like a jealous God? How is that not like bad? I'm like, because he's deserving and worthy of everything. When I get jealous for something, I don't deserve it.
Right.
Like I don't need it. It's a sinful desire. God is jealous for his glory because his glory is deserved. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Like God has ultimate main character syndrome. If I could say that, it sounds blasphemous to say.
It's a little irreverent.
But it's like worthy, like because he's worthy of it. We're not saying like don't be aware of how you interact and how you present yourself. It's like don't be overly focused on yourself, I think is what she's getting at.
As we get into this time of year, I think there's a definite draw or appeal to some of the more man-centric teachers, churches out there. I'm not going to name any of them, but
one day,
why not?
Maybe
we're still getting our audience. You know,
I think.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
I think there's a definite appeal to preach in that way that speaks to like the person and not to in a way that glorifies God, that keeps the main thing, right? And so I think this can be as much as it is like a personal warning just about behavior and how we think about ourselves. It can also be a warning about what we're consuming at this time of year, because it is very easy to not only for pastors of these churches to present messages like how you can be a better person in 2025 or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll say it way more eloquently than me. But it's very enticing even for people to be like, I should, like I said, as we look back on the year that's passed and the year that's upcoming, we often do that reflectively and like, what am I going to change about myself? And so it's easy already in that mentality to be susceptible to a message that is entirely focused on me, and not focused on Christ.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. Man, if you want to look at, you're in 2 Timothy, that's so funny. I want you to go back 2 chapters after you share.
We can go now.
So I preached a few weeks ago on 2 Timothy 2. We were doing the soul winning, shout out to J.A. Metters, soul winning church. And in 2 Timothy 2, like 23, he describes, like you see a symptom of a church with main character syndrome. So verse, I think is that 22, flee from youthful passions and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart, but reject foolish and ignorant disputes, because you know that they breed quarrels. And he actually uses the same word that he uses for quarrels is up there in verse 14, like battling with words. So it's like main character syndrome across the board leads to split churches, leads to lack of witness, leads to people only engrossed in their own desires, and that 100% infects the church. It's not just like your own personal, you'd be shocked like how much your own personal theology affects how you interact with the body of Christ.
Oh, yeah. For sure, or it should, right?
Oh,
like,
for
that's
sure.
Where you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into, like, I think it's Matt Chandler who was the first person I heard talk about the idea, like disembodied doctrine. Like we don't just learn about God for like to exist in a vacuum with that knowledge.
Yeah.
We learn about God because He will change our life in the process as we become more and more like Him.
It's good.
And you see that flesh out. Like that's exactly right. Like where churches have that friction and tension and quarreling and whatever, it's people who walk around like they're the main character of their own story and assuming that everybody else is existing either to serve them or to like disserve them. Right?
Yeah.
I guess serve or demean or whatever. Like,
well, like build yourself up or No, I know what you mean.
Right.
Like,
so you're always assuming like, okay, well, Stephen exists because he like really likes me and he wants to build me up. Preston, all he ever thinks about is how much he doesn't like me. So I have to navigate that when it's like, actually, you guys have your own lives and you probably don't think about me at all until I send you something stupid in our group chat. Like
again? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.